Come on, John. John, are you there? John, are you there?
Sorry, I was muted. I'm here. Hi, Jerry. It's just you and me so far. I'm trying to get some other folks in, so bear with me.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Wesley, how's it going?
It's okay. I'm in my car.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
and Jerry's here. Um,
Okay.
so I'll pull up the agenda. I guess I can, well, we're gonna need a few more people. One of the things, uh, I want to vote on, I hope to recuse myself from voting on it. Um, which would mean that we need more than the quorum. So let's see, we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 members. So we have 3 members here. We're gonna need
A few more.
more, because if I recuse myself, um, actually, Jerry, if I recuse myself, does that mean we need 4 people or 5 people, not me? Because there would be 7 without me. Or do you have to count me if I recuse myself in terms of the total? That's the kind of thing you always know better.
I don't know the new rules to the Brown Act like I knew the old one.
Yeah.
Um, but
remember
I would
when
I would
Brown-
imagine if you recuse yourself, the rest of us can just go ahead and vote.
Right, but then the question is, how many do we have to have here?
I think we need 4.
Yeah, we need a couple more, well, at least one more person. Sue's gonna be joining us. Let me see if I can get Ivy or Tam. Hold on. I'm gonna mute out. It's actually Tam's birthday.
Oh, Jerry, I'll contact you separately, but I want to talk to you about PB Palooza and the volunteer stuff.
Okay.
Awesome. She's gonna, Ivy's gonna dial in and then Sue's gonna come on in 20 minutes and that'll be enough. So I'll go ahead and wait for Ivy to call in and then we can start with the agenda. And so on. And Sue said she'd be able to join us in about 7 minutes. So. And these meetings are being recorded, so in the spirit of sticking to the new structure of things, we should not talk about about PV Palooza except for the part that has to do with the Cultural Arts Committee, and there is one today.
Okay.
So we'll be talking about that briefly. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started anyway. So, but we don't have enough people to approve the minutes, which is the first thing we would be going through. I will say that we are a bit short on, this committee's kind of small. We normally would have, I think, 10 to 12 people, and we're currently at 8. And I think it's definitely the case that, especially with all that's happening with PV Palooza, I just don't have enough hours in the day to do both without offloading to committee members for pretty much everything except for the summer concert series itself. So Wesley, I'm really, really glad that you're taking the lead on that, on some of the initiatives that you're working on. I'm really looking forward to hearing the updates on that.
And yeah, apparently there's not many. I've reached out to Carrie. I just sent her an email just like 15 minutes ago following up because she hasn't gotten back to me. So
Okay.
I don't really have much to report.
I spoke with her the other day, and I'm gonna be speaking with her on an unrelated matter, well, on a matter related to PV Palooza on Monday. So
Mhm.
I can make mention of that, that she needs to get back to you on that.
Yeah.
And it is definitely the case that sometimes you have to, keep following up and following up again. So that's just
Yeah.
what I've noticed as well. So let's see, trying to figure out how to make the best use of this time. Because we are 15 minutes in and we still don't have anything close to a quorum. Well, we're not Brown Act, so I'm gonna go in whatever order makes sense. So, let's see. Summer concert series, I think last year, well, I know what we can do. I need to open up our budget from last year. And we can start, because next time we meet, we're gonna have to talk about budget. And Wesley, since you've kind of taken the lead on a couple of the initiatives that are gonna be involved in the budget, I would like you to think about, between now and the next meeting, what we're gonna wanna do. So bear with me for a second.
Somebody just texted and said they're having a hard time accessing the Zoom link.
Guess I'll just resend it. Okay, so let's see. I will go ahead and open a spreadsheet on my end. Budget, cultural. CC. Here we go. Budget worksheet. 2023, okay, cool. So I have last year's budget open in front of me and I'm gonna share it in just a moment. Okay, and we can start by reviewing that. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, you can see my screen now, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is the budget worksheet and it's helpful to look at things in a historical context, which is why instead of starting fresh every time, I show the past years. Let me just give her a phone number to call in. So school. The meeting ID is this. Cool. All right, so sorry, I keep switching screens around. Yeah, so basically these different prior years, you know, I went back, I go all the way back to 2020. I think it's helpful to see how the budget has evolved over the years. It's gone up, you know, significantly, and they've granted it to us each time. So last year, we asked for $9,000, and by the way, we forecasted for this year that we would need $9,000 again. What is the $9,000? That pays $2,000 per band, so that's $8,000 plus 1,000. Wait, that's not right. Hold on a second. $9,000. Yeah, so that so $2,000 per band is $6,000 because there's 3 events, right? There's 3 summer concert series events. And then $1,000 per event, it's actually a little bit less, 900 and something, is what it costs for Greg Poston. So that's where that $9,000 comes from. $1,000 for each event from Greg Poston. And then this $3,000 was for PV Palooza. And at the time the budget was put together, we didn't know it was going to be a 501c3. We thought we'd be spending that $3,000 ourselves. We ended up not having to.
Somebody's at the schoolhouse.
Oh, that would be probably Mimi.
I don't know. They just texted on the
Oh, no.
group.
Okay. So we have so $9,000, $3,000 for PV Palooza. And then we had $750 for food and beverages for events other than PV Palooza. And we ended up not doing much, so that's available to us. We also didn't do a kids movie night, and there isn't a plan to do one between now and the end of the fiscal year, so that to us. I don't think we spent anything on the photo archive and support materials, and we also didn't spend anything on kids photography. Now, there's something that's a little bit complicated about the end of the fiscal year. that I discussed um, with what's her name, Carrie, and it's the following. So in 2020, so last fiscal year 2022-2023, was the second PV Palooza, and we had, from the first PV Palooza, we had thousands of dollars that we didn't spend. And those funds were in the PV Palooza budget, but we were informed by Cindy, who's head of finance, that we would lose those funds if we didn't spend them. But the problem was there was no way to spend them before the end of the year, because the summer concert series didn't happen until this fiscal year. So last summer's summer concert series happened after June 30th, right? It happened July, August, September. So what I did is I spent it on deposits. So each band we signed a contract where we gave them a down payment in the last fiscal year in order to spend that money and not lose it.
Got
And,
it.
it turns out they hated that. Like they really don't want us to be doing deposits on bands, and it's just too complicated. Anyway, it is what it is. So, but the thing is that they said, in effect, we don't really have to worry about losing quote unquote money, because if there's a need to spend it next year, we just put it in the budget for next year, and then it either gets approved, and it'll probably get approved. So instead of doing what I did with that down payment, I could have asked for more money last year, and then the funds that I didn't spend in the prior year would have evaporated, but that's okay, because they would have shown up in the following year budget, and that would have been the way to handle it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason that came up is because I'm trying to get this contract signed right now for the band that is the first of the 3 summer concert series bands, and I decided to get that contract signed first and then do the other 2, because there were members of staff who left and so on, and certain processes are new for the existing team. So I thought, okay, well, I'll get that first band contract signed first for July, and then I'll worry about the August and September bands later. Well, she didn't want to sign a contract that had that down payment. And so I guess she's just encouraging me to put it in next year's budget. I guess that makes me nervous because I don't know if my budget's going to get approved or not. You know what I mean? Whereas cash that I have this year, I know I have it. That's just being
Right.
fiscally conservative, but they don't want me to do this deposit mechanism. So what that means is that these figures have to be for the current fiscal year. So this last year we spent Fleetwood Macrame and New Monsoon were both $4,000 bands, 2,000 of which was paid for in the previous year. So we basically took $4,000 more than we would normally spend on a summer concert series, and we used it to get, bands that would normally be out of reach. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're not going to be doing that. It's not like we just fell upon some money because we had a fundraising, overhang, if you will. So we used it. And the thing is that now that PV Palooza is out of the Cultural Arts Committee, we don't have revenue. We only are an expense account like all the other committees. And I think part of the complexity of all of the PV Palooza stuff is because we were raising money, and so now it's separated out, so we don't have to worry about raising money anymore. The Cultural Arts Committee has gone back to just being a cost center, just being an expense account, which makes it a heck of a lot easier, right?
Yeah.
So we just need to sort of figure out what we're going to spend money on. So if you can start thinking through, Wesley, what you think it's going to cost and what we should budget for the different activities that you're planning on doing. And then
The only thing that I think is really going to cost, I guess I haven't completely thought through the holiday fair, but I know the number one expense is going to be just the insurance.
right.
And then probably number two, the venue, which is $300.
Right, and you don't need security, right?
No, no.
Because that's the other thing, is that security, I didn't realize it, but we, at the summer concert series, we have security folks show up. I just didn't even know it, so that came out of the budget as well, so there's less money in the budget than I thought. And also, what was the other thing? Another expense that I forgot about.
Oh,
from-
the insurance for the art club, that's really the only expense. The rental is free. And I mean, it's really, we'll leave it as clean as we found it. And for the art club, I don't think there's really any other expense for that.
Does it make sense to get refreshments or anything like that?
It's a potluck. Everybody will just bring them.
Okay, well then,
Self-sustaining. The only thing that we need is the insurance.
okay,
So
and in that case, insurance comes from Carrie.
I've already been in touch with her about it, and I'm just waiting for her to get back to me with it for that and the holiday fair.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. What's missing here is we need to print up banners and posters for the summer concert series.
Got it. And probably for the holiday fair too.
Right, so those, we wanna, that costs money. And so, I mean, basically, you and I can work together on figuring out how much money that'll cost, because based on, our experience with all these events plus PV Palooza, we kind of know how much things cost in terms of printing.
Right.
And then, in fact, Wesley, if you just want to take that receipt that I sent around by email for PV Palooza, you'll see how much it costs to print posters and banners. You probably don't need banners, but posters at least.
Yeah.
And then you can decide, how we're going to publicize it and so on.
Mhm.
The other thing that's missing from this is the postcard mailing, which I've already provided to the town. Oh, by the way, did I show you guys the postcard that we're gonna probably, or that we're gonna be sending out
You did.
the last time? Okay.
Yeah.
For anybody watching the video, I can go ahead and bring up the postcard. Summer Concert Series 2024. It's gonna look like, takes a second to load. So I've got some budget wrangling that I need to do in order to, there it is. That's what it's gonna look like for the summer concert series. It's in black and white. There's Bundy Brown, there's Wobbly World, there's Fog City Swampers, right? This is the back, this is the front. It gets chopped, these pages get chopped in half right here, and then that turns into a postcard, if you think about it that way. So, and, so I'll work on some numbers for next time, keeping in mind that we're gonna wanna, spend the money in the current fiscal year. We also have to put in there funds for security. In fact, maybe what I'll do is, let me go ahead and do save as. Um, 25, 24, 25. Save and we will, I'll just update it as if it's a future year here. So we need to remember to put in postcard cost, posters and banners. Surprised I didn't remember that from last year, but anyway. postcard, posters and banners, security. And insurance. And by the way, there is another potential cost that is potentially coming, but I can't talk about that yet. But it's something I'm meeting with the team about next week, with the town about next week. So postcard, security, and insurance. And this stuff should actually kind of be indented. Yeah, I'll indent that later when I have a chance. And let's see. In fact, maybe what I'll do is take this stuff here and move it up here and get rid of this PV Live Revive, because that was a one-time thing. We can just get rid of that. And then we're gonna want to have additional stuff here around we can just replace this here. What's the best name for the event that you're working on? There's the art club.
PV Art Club, and then I guess Portola Valley Holiday Fair, or just Holiday Fair. You know, I was working with Shazia
Yeah,
for the other thing, but she mentioned that the town hall in Woodside is available for a holiday fair as well.
uh-huh.
But I didn't really check out prices or anything. I just wasn't sure how everybody would feel about moving it to Woodside. But that also is an option, you know, and when I did reach out to them for other stuff, they seem pretty user friendly.
Yeah,
So
no, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, we got a problem to solve.
yeah,
Did you try the Woodside Priory?
I did not try Priory. I just went to Windmill.
Oh, right. So Windmill's for the art club though, right?
No, Windmill is for the holiday fair.
Oh, okay.
Art Club's gonna be in the Cedar room just at the town center once a month. It's
Okay.
probably first Monday of every month from 5:30 to 9.
Awesome.
But I'm just waiting on insurance for both of them. And once we get the insurance, then I can sign up for I was thinking just of doing it at Windmill, since it's close to the town center and it's kind of more within our community. I kind of feel like, I mean, it would be nice to branch out to Woodside, but that's kind of a different community.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
I just wasn't sure about that. But
Oh.
Windmill just seemed like it's inexpensive and it's a nice space that I think it'll accommodate what we need.
Mm-hmm.
And it's $300, and that's really, they said, just their cleaning fee. So
That's great. So I didn't know. Yeah. So let's plan on that. I like the idea, actually, Wesley, now that you mentioned it, of having it in Portola Valley.
yeah,
I think I would.
different.
Yeah. And
Um,
so, by the way, while we've been talking, Ivy joined us and Sue just joined us. There's somebody who's dialed in from a phone called iPhone 9.
that's me.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So we actually have enough people here to get into something that I would like to vote on without me voting. So I'm going to recuse myself.
Got it.
And it's the following. So, and actually, maybe I don't have to recuse myself because I mean, Ivy's here as well, and she's a board member of PV Palooza. But anyway, the question is this: we spent several $100s on some items last year. I'll pull up the exact document in just a moment. which are in the closet for the CAC, and they are, here we go. Okay, there are these event staff things. They're not very expensive, so that doesn't really matter. This fencing is really important for ABC compliance. It's hundreds of feet of fencing and posts. And this together was $550, these here. And then we also bought a heavy duty extension power cord, 25 foot, which was, and then this one here is a cover for that. And the total of this is $298. It looks like multiples of these. Anyway, so we have let's see, 300 plus 550, 800 to $850, 800, maybe 870 worth of stuff that's, oh, here it is. Total is here, 870.85. Phil and I purchased these and then got reimbursed by the town. So the town owns these items. They're in the CAC closet. I talked to Carrie. She and I proposed that in this meeting, we would vote to agree whether it made sense to donate these items to PV Palooza for the purposes of supporting something that supports the local arts. Especially because these things are kind of useless to anybody but us. But the only caveat would be that they can't remain in the CAC closet once they, if we do decide to donate them. So I'll, probably put them in the garage or something. But anyway, I would like to propose that we sell these items, so we give these items to PV Palooza Foundation so that they can use them for the PV Palooza event. And so actually, I don't want to propose that. I want to see if you guys want to propose that.
Okay,
And I would recuse myself.
I'll move that we donate this to the PV Palooza. These items.
Okay, that's Sue. That's one. Anybody else want to second that?
I second it.
Okay, so Wesley seconds it. All those in favor?
No, you have to have a discussion.
Oh, I guess I preloaded the discussion. So,
Okay, so what would you will take them? They
yes,
won't be in the closet anymore. Is that what I heard, right?
I will remove them and put them somewhere that
Okay,
will be for PV Palooza, right?
okay.
Got it.
Okay, now you can call for the vote. Or
Yes.
unless there's any other questions.
Yeah, anybody have any questions about this?
I don't have questions. This is Ivy. It's just, can I vote or do I need to recuse myself as well?
You know what? I was not actually told that we have to recuse ourselves, Ivy. The problem is I think if you and I recuse ourselves, we won't have enough votes. So maybe we should just vote. So the other thing is that there are a couple, there's a bunch of easels, like way more
Yes.
easels than we possibly know what to do with. We didn't realize that the town actually has a bunch of easels, and those easels are accessible to the CAC, but not to PV Palooza, right? Well, I suppose I could ask, but it doesn't matter. We have plenty of easels in the cultural arts closet. I just don't know what the value is, but it's not much. It's, they're probably $20 each, and we might have 4 or 5. So maybe $100 extra. And what I'll do is just update this document.
John, won't we need those for the concert series? And then why don't you just borrow them? Why don't we just put them out for you on the Palooza
right, so.
and not include that in this? Because we need that. We need those for the 3 concert tonight.
Oh, those are different. Those are the sandwich boards.
Oh, they are different? Sorry. Okay.
That's a good point, though, that it could be quite useful for the sandwich boards. You know what? Rather than do that, let's donate this stuff and then vote to allow PV Palooza to borrow easels and sandwich boards for the
Okay.
purposes, right?
Okay, separate motion.
Yeah.
Okay. Call for the vote.
All right, let's start with this donation one. So you, did you want, who wants to open in the vote for this, for the donation?
Well, I moved and it was seconded, so now, and we had a discussion, so now you can call for the vote.
Or, well, but I don't want to call for the vote. Oh, yes, I do, because I'm gonna.
Yes,
I'm
you
gonna
do.
vote. I'm gonna vote. So we're good. So, who would like to, propose? As chairman, I can't propose it, but is there anybody who wants to propose the vote for this?
I can move to propose a vote to donate the following items to the PV Palooza Foundation.
Okay,
I'll
Thanks.
second.
thanks. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, so we have unanimous approval of the donation of these items, so that's off the agenda. And then the second item is lending the sandwich boards and
Did you hear
easels
that?
to PV Palooza. Oh, and there's yeah.
You're on mute on speaker. I think it here. You just won't be able. Anyhow, so are you busy today? I don't know what's going on with me. I'm like really fatigued. That fatigue, remember I had months ago? It came back again.
Hey, Ivy,
I need to go back on my medication. That
Hey, Ivy.
whatever the medication they gave me, it's just
Conversation is,
every day to the point
I'm
where I'm
trying to
totally
mute.
down.
yeah,
Hey, Ivy, you might want to mute yourself.
I'm going back. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, hold on a second.
hey, Ivy, there we go. Okay, so, we're gonna go ahead and, move to the discussion of allowing, PV Palooza Foundation to borrow the sandwich boards and the easels for the purposes of the PV Palooza event. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You have to make the motion second discussion and then,
Oh, I'm sorry.
which we've done, but I'll move, we've loaned the PV Palooza of the necessary advertisement, the easels and the sandwich boards for the
Yes.
Palooza.
Perfect.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we have unanimous approval of the donation of the lending of those items, not the donation, the
Right.
lending of those items during the course of the event. All right, let's go back to the agenda. Updates on the summer concert series. I think we covered that. Oh, that's right. We have some additional spending because one of the concert series bands is bigger. So bear with me a second. I'm gonna look for an email. I've frozen my screen share so that I can go look for my email and find an email from Greg Poston. Here we go. So resume my screen share. All right, so if you look at this, this is the proposal from Forum Production. This is Greg Poston. And this is for the should be for the summer concert series. Yes, this is for the summer concert series. And it's more expensive than is normal. Actually, it is significantly more expensive. So three of these. Okay, so basically, for a single event, you take one of these, that's 500. That's 1,000. Skip this. That's 1,200. Oh, okay.
1,200. 20.
Oh, I see, but then there's a professional discount. Let's look at this as a total instead. So
Oh, wow.
normally we pay just under $3,000, so just under $1,000 per show. So this year it's $550 more. And the reason for the $550 more is because the second band, the band that's called Wobbly World, is a very large band. They have 7 musicians with horns and percussion, and there's a lot more mics, a lot more. And in fact, he's going to get another engineer to be there for the Freddie Clark. He's going to get a kid to come join him for that event. A young audio engineer. And so the total amount is about $550 more than what we had in the budget. So, you know, at this stage, we've kind of committed to Wobbly World. This is kind of an unforeseen expense, but it is what it is. I guess I should have realized that many musicians would result in a bigger cost, but I didn't. So, but I think there's room in the budget, particularly because we're not supposed to be holding back funds. Sorry, we're not supposed to be pushing forward funds into the next year by putting big deposits on the bands that we have. So we have funds in the budget this year for this, but I just thought I'd let you guys all know that's what's happening. In fact, I'm going to pause my share again, and I'll pull up an email from Cindy to show you guys where we are budget-wise. Cindy wrote us.
Is that Greg Poston? Is he the county history guy? Is that his son?
No, Greg is the guy who does the video, the video for us. I'm sorry, the audio, for the summer concert series, for all the audio stuff that we do. He's the guy who brings the equipment, who sets up the stages, who, you know, he does all of that stuff. All right, so this is the last email exchange I had with Cindy. So we had a $15,000 budget. Year-to-date expenditures. Nope, sorry. Yeah. So the remaining budget is $1,900 based on everything that we've spent so far. And therefore, after subtracting out the cost of Greg Poston, that would leave us with around the additional cost, I should say. Wait, Greg Poston stuff is in next fiscal year. We don't have to worry about this year.
Okay.
Forget about that. It's all in next. So basically, we have $1,900 to spend, and the only expenses that I see are the printing of the posters and for the summer concert series, which will come out of this.
Poetry.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that's a good point. I'm glad you brought.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up, I don't know, Sue, we used to turn in receipts and be reimbursed, but doesn't our food and beverage for our events have to go into the budget now?
Yes. Do we have any things that we plan to be doing between now and June 30th?
Yes, Sue's poet laureate.
Oh, okay. So by the way, I saw Sue's email, but I have not read it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just,
I won't bore you with it then again.
let me pull it up.
I get my iPad.
While you're pulling that up, Sue is on here now. The earlier discussion about moving the Christmas fair to Woodside. They have a lovely venue, of course, but they do their own Christmas fair, and we asked if we could join it, and they said no. And so just don't be disappointed. They may see us as competition coming in on a different date.
Oh,
They probably wouldn't let us come in before they come in.
Well, I think we decided anyway to just go with
we're
Windmill.
just Portola Valley.
Yeah. So we're good there. Okay, let me resume my share so you can see, oops, what just happened? Okay. The ideal place is to hold it in the schoolhouse. Chairs, tables, microphones, and screen are all set up. Refreshments to be held outside, maybe a pop-up tent as well. We have a pop-up tent in the closet.
Uh-huh, okay.
Second choice is first week of May. I wrote the three authors and requested to be on the agenda. The friends is okay. So is the three authors topic here? Is that a new
No,
topic?
that isn't gonna happen because Sue Crane went on her own.
Right,
and
but I just want to make sure that we separate topics. Is the blue text that I've just highlighted a new topic?
So Lenora is poet laureate as well as having written 2 books, Sidney Durrell and
Right, but,
George. And we'll
but I
just,
don't want to mix topics. So just in terms of, I know that there's an overlap in Lenora, but just,
and then we'll just do her. We're not gonna do the other 2.
okay. So
Unless you want to hold a separate author's night, because I think you had one, John. You had a friend, didn't you?
I did, but frankly, guys, I'm
I
not
don't-
going to be involved at all in this. I am completely buried with my.
Oh,
day
yeah,
job
no, and I
and-
think given that, then we'd have to do it in May and then we start in June with, so I think we'll do that in the fall.
Okay,
If we do it, and so I think that's all, it'll just be Lenora, her poetry and her books.
okay.
And was looking, if you look on the town calendar, a lot of days are free that there is not a meeting. But to give us a little town, I'm looking at, what did I put? What did I put? Monday the,
Oh,
I can't remember. Oh, you have it there. What day did I put? As our
we're
first
looking
choice.
at Monday, the 22nd.
22nd, and then the second choice would be in the week of May, first week of May. Because I haven't cleared it with the town. She was gonna get Diego or somebody on it. So I haven't cleared that date, but if it doesn't matter to anybody, I'll take what I can get.
All right, well, let's see what we've got, what the town has got. So let me pull up Portola Valley.
Town calendar, and it pops right up. It's pretty cool.
All right, so the first week of May is here. When you
There's
say-
okay, there's always a Wednesday meeting. And it looks like that Thursday the 2nd, there's open space committee. Well, that's at 5. What we thought with the Thursday is that people will go to the farmer's market and won't come around, turn around and come back. So maybe the 6th or the 7th, Tuesday the 7th.
Sure, these look open.
Okay, great.
So you'll need to just email Carrie and CC me, Carrie Chen, and just CC me.
Okay.
And we'll get that on the calendar.
And I'll
all right.
double check with our poet, make sure she can come too.
Okay, that's great.
Okay,
All right, so we have 2 minutes left in the agenda, and I've got another really important thing that we need to talk about.
okay, and just let me tell you, just so you know, what they're supposed to have a project, and hers is she wants to do have poetry all over town, posted, pop-up poetry. Like in the
Okay.
window at the store and in the library. That's kind of cool. People can put up their poems. So that's her project.
Okay,
Okay,
and is that in this fiscal year?
yeah, that won't cost anything, but it's kind of a cool idea. And
Okay,
maybe we'll get back into the schools. We used to have poetry through the library, but we don't do that anymore. So, okay, but, and then the main thing for, I hope we get some help.
Okay.
The night that we choose to do it. And we'll do the same thing. We'll get all the refreshments and then be reimbursed by the town. Like we did before.
yes, but it just
Okay.
needs, I just need an email so that you, so that I can make sure to have visibility into that. We have money, right? So.
Yeah, okay,
So just let me know ahead of time what you expect to be spending on refreshments and things.
okay,
Yes,
great.
you definitely can get reimbursed for expenditures, but the expenditures come from a budget that's our budget, so.
Okay. Okay,
okay.
thanks, John. Thanks,
Yeah,
everybody.
No problem. So
Any
we,
ideas or any questions?
No,
Okay, thank you, John.
yeah. Okay, so if it's okay, Ivy, I'm gonna, well, we skipped this special topic here, so let me talk about that, and then Ivy, if there's any updates from you on movie night, we can jump to that, but let's start with this special topic. So,
I have a deadline. I can't stay really past 3 today.
oh no, okay.
Is it pertinent that I be in on this?
Well,
You-
yeah, I
can you
guess we
just
just ran
switch
out of
them?
time. It was a mistake for me to have skipped this item here because this was one of the more important
Well, let's
aspects.
do it really quick. I need to get home.
Yeah, I get it. So I'll be super quick. Portola Valley is a platinum sponsor of PV Palooza, and as such, they have the option of having a physical presence as a platinum sponsor of PV Palooza at the event. And so we definitely don't want to have a table at PV Palooza that is the Cultural Arts Committee, because that would send a confusing message because we're supposed to keep that all separate. However, as Cultural Arts Committee, we can make a recommendation as to how the,
Mountain View. But my
Um,
daughter,
hey, can we?
Somebody's
really, I'm surprised.
Not
Hey,
me.
hey, Jerry, could I ask you to mute? So as such, we have a tabletop, the option for the town to have a tabletop, and they agree that it would be good for us to make a recommendation. I have a suggestion. I'd like to see what other suggestions you might have. I'm thinking that we could contact Nancy Lund and see if she would be interested in having a table that talks about town history, especially given that it is the 60th anniversary. That might be a nice one. And then I wanted to see if you guys had any other ideas.
Okay, I think I did email Nancy, but I'll ask her again. Who's on? I'm trying to think who would be. Who would staff it is the problem, right?
It-
Nancy's is easy to staff, but who would staff the town table?
I mean,
John, does
yeah.
the town table have to be related to an established committee of the town? Like, what are our parameters of
the town
recommending
can
people?
use it for whatever purpose they see fit.
Okay,
And they don't have to take our recommendation, as a matter of fact, but we can make a recommendation, and my guess is that they would take it, but they don't have to.
okay.
And so it's not the CAC that's sponsoring the PV Palooza, it is the town that's sponsoring PV Palooza. So we can make a recommendation. And another one that just popped into my head is maybe Parks and Rec wants that table.
Yeah,
That's a nice one.
So I will contact John Meyer.
okay, and I'll contact Nancy again.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
All right,
next,
that's
moving on.
all. That's all we needed. And then Ivy, did you have any updates on movie night?
I think I just want to be realistic. We need to, personally, my bandwidth is just, I have to, I'm not going to focus on anything until after June 1st.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
So, I'm going to probably look at sometime in July. That's when I'll reach out to the city, reach out to the library to see if we can coordinate something for July. If I miss the boat on July, we have been having Indian summers in September.
Yeah.
I think September, the first or 2 week when we come back, after schools begins on September 1st, that's also a really good time. And that'll give us a bit more time to plan.
Okay.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's do that. That's
And
just
it's,
amazing.
and it's darker.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. That is true. That's very true.
Okay. So just real quick, yeah, darkness is actually good for movies. So let's go ahead and tie up. It's currently 3:04 PM. And then, by the way, Jerry, I'm guessing that since you're on phone, you were not taking notes.
No, I can't take notes.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna get, the AI was turned on this, so, but the key will be for me to get a hold of that AI, because I didn't get it the last time. So I'll get it from the town and I'll use that for the notes. And then I will, write up the notes myself and then we'll go from there.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks, John.
Thanks.
Done.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
team. All right,
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Oh,
thanks.
close the meeting, John. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry?
Meeting is closed, huh?
Yeah,
Yes, the meeting
adjourn,
is closed, 3:04 PM, adjourned.
adjournment and the time, the official time.
He said it, 3:04.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. I can't find my credit card case. think that's it. Thank you. I didn't know for that. Oh. Oh.
Back to Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. It was not really about any one person. It was about of finding a moment, a flashpoint, whether it was George Floyd or whatever was next, to then demand that we have bail reform and prison reform. Now, prison reform is also very simple. The argument is there's too many African American men in prison, regardless of the crimes they have committed, and therefore we should let people out of prison and we should put more African American men in prison because the system is racist. And we've decided the system's racist. You can't debate the system, and so therefore let every African American man out of jail that we can to basically get revenge. It's no different to get even for what happened. Same thing that we heard with OJ. And then you look at bail reform. Well, what is bail reform? It's a way to make also defund the police a reality. When cities didn't actually, and they weren't able to defund the police. Remember when Minneapolis, St. Paul area, they were going to defund the police. It never actually happened because crime was so out of control. They're like, all right, we can't actually fire off cops. But what you can do is you can drive them insane with a law put on you, right? It was politically too much for them to choose. The people that wanted to get rid of police officers, and so the best way to actually get rid of police officers is drive them to total insanity and madness. How do you do that? You tell a good human being, a police officer, I believe the majority of police officers overwhelmingly are incredible human beings. There are bad cops, yes. There are bad priests, there are bad pastors, there are bad doctors, there's bad people in every profession, but the majority of police officers are good human beings. And what you do is you tell that police officer, hey, go ahead, I dare you, go out there and arrest this person that just committed this crime. And we're going to let this walk before you finish the paperwork. Go ahead, do it. Risk your life to lock up somebody and watch how fast we put them right back out on the streets without giving them any bail. That's how you defund the police, folks, because then police stop risking their lives. Because what's the point of risking your life if you know that when you risk your life, it's the person that you just caught, the person you just put in jail, he's basically laughing in your face like, dude, I'm not going to jail. Like, I got a mugshot, maybe. You might have a maybe. I'm free. I'm a free man. This is all about reparation at the end of the day. And so there's a moment here that's bigger than O.J. Simpson. And O.J. Simpson is dead. He's died. All right? But let me tell you what the left is now saying. And this is what they're teaching kids. There's a guy who I know well. We've done TV together for decades. We've had vigorous debates. His name is Mark Lamont Hill. And Mark Lamont Hill said something on Twitter today, and it's important that you hear what he actually said, because I want you to understand the mindset of people that disagree with me and disagree with me on issues about prison and issues about right, issues of protecting and defending, and issues of police. A CUNY professor and race commentator, Mark Lamont Hill, weighed in on the death of the troubled NFL star O.J. Simpson. And this is what Hill said on Twitter, or on X. O.J. Simpson was an abusive liar, I agree with Mark Lamont Hill on that, who abandoned his community long before he killed 2 people in cold blood. I agree with that. his acquittal for murder was the correct and necessary result of a racist criminal legal system. But he's still a monster, not a martyr. So let's just break that down. You're admitting that he was an abusive killer that deserved to go to jail, but more than that, you believe he deserved to get off because of systemic racism. And therefore, it was correct and necessary to let O.J. Simpson live a life of freedom after brutally hacking to death and murdering his ex-wife and her boyfriend / friend at the time. And you're saying it. Now you're saying he's an abusive liar. This is the problem that we have now in this country. There is no longer right and wrong if you're on the left. And this is, and I would say this, by the way, again, I want you to not be angry at what Marco Monhill is saying. I want you to listen to what he's saying, because I want you to understand how far gone we are in this country when it comes to the basic issue of right and wrong. He is justifying the abuse, the abusive liar, the abandonment of his community. And he said he did that long before he killed 2 people in cold blood. But then he justifies it saying, basically, because of the sins of people in the past in America, because of slave owners, O.J. Simpson deserves to walk among us for decades after brutally killing the mother of his children, because it's righting the wrongs of the past in American history, and a necessary, quote, result of a racist criminal legal system. You understand this conversation we're having right now is really not about it. This conversation right now is about people that are today basically saying, you know what, I'm glad that he didn't go to prison for killing those 2 people, the mother of his children, because we need to somehow right the wrongs of a time in America where none of us were part of it, none of us experienced it, and because there were people in America's history that are racist, therefore we should have anarchy, chaos among us at the hands of minorities to basically get even for things that happened in the past. This is bail reform, folks. This is prison reform. This is what the left has brought into They are now normalizing, decades later, the cold-blooded murder of the mother of O.J. Simpson's children, saying, but it was a necessary evil for us to let him go to get revenge for racism in the past and to get revenge for another horrific moment, Rodney King beating. And we're going to get revenge for that by saying, all right, well, this is payback. This is payback. Listen to the juror again.
Do you think that they're members of the jury that voted to put OJ because of Rodney King?
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you feel that way before you coming up with it? They said the same thing. And why is it that the media is saying this basically? Well, hey, look, this is a moment for everybody to remember. Look, if you're African American, go out there and kill somebody. It explodes in all areas of this country. We went from bail reform and prison reform to now wide open borders. Why? Because the Democratic Party, once you say we don't believe in right or wrong, and we don't believe in law and order, and we don't believe in good and bad, then the wheels come off the bus. And it costs people their lives. The same people you claim you want to protect. The same people that you say you want to protect, the African American young kids who are getting killed in this country, the young African American men that are being murdered at outrageous rates right now. When you go on this world of insanity, this is what you get. Ben Ferguson filling in for Marco. Ben, we'll be right back.
Regular unleaded for $4 a gallon. The gas station next door sells the exact same unleaded gas for $2 a gallon. Now, which are you going to buy? The $2 gas, right? It's a no-brainer. So why are you still paying inflated rates for wireless with Verizon, T-Mobile, or AT&T when you could be getting the exact same coverage as one of those big carriers with Pure Talk, except they cost you half? And switching is so easy. You can keep your phone, keep your number, or get huge discounts on the latest iPhones and Androids. Right now, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month. And if you go over on data, they don't charge you for it, and they don't care. There's a reason Pure Talk is the highest rated wireless company by Consumer Affairs. Now, pound $250 on your cell phone and say Mark Levin, and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, say Mark Levin. Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, you see a huge group of people and maybe they're in line to do something and they get happy about it. You have to wonder, okay, what am I missing? What's going on here? What are these people excited about? Well, in this case, it's thousands of people and they're joining Medishare. Why? Well, Medishare is a much more affordable alternative to health insurance. It's reliable too. It's a well-run community of Christians. They've been sharing each other's medical expenses for more than 30 years with proven. And if you switch, you'll likely save hundreds of dollars a month. Most members wind up paying about half what they used to. And you know what? They find they like it better. Medishare's member satisfaction rate is 98%. That's way better than health insurance, as you might imagine. You don't have to pay for things you don't believe in. There's telehealth 24/7. Huge freedom in choosing your doctors. It's be one of those things where you're like, why did it make it time ago? Why did it start saving now? Call 855-51 idle. That's 855-51 idle. 855-51 idle.
Are you suffering from plantar fasciitis and associated heel pain? Does your heel pain interfere with your activities and lifestyle? Doctors at Center for Clinical Research are currently conducting a clinical study using investigational injectable study medication for people with plantar fasciitis. If you're 18 to 75 years old and not diabetic with plantar fasciitis, you may be qualified to participate. Please call Center for Clinical Research at 800-363-1069 to see if you may be a candidate. Qualified participants will receive all study-related procedures and study medication at no cost, plus compensation for your time and travel. No health insurance is required. If you have plantar fasciitis, you may become part of this study. If interested in the plantar fasciitis study, call Center for Clinical Research at 800-363-1069. That's 800-363-1069. Call 800-363-1069 or visit our website, www.healmyfoot.com. Men, do you suffer from erectile dysfunction or Peyronie's disease? Has Viagra stopped working? Most ED cases are caused by plaque buildup, which causes blockages and restricts blood flow. Even Viagra can't get through. But thanks to the doctors at West Coast Men's Health, a revolutionary medical procedure is now available. Using acoustic wave therapy, this non-invasive, pain-free treatment breaks down plaque, restores blood flow, potentially reversing ED for good. And women, if your man has ED, talk to him about acoustic wave therapy and how West Coast Men's Health can help, regardless of age or medical history.
With clinics in San Mateo, Pleasanton, Walnut Creek, and Elk Grove, call 650-649-7944. That's 650-649-7944. 650-649-7944. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an owner warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in lead time
nothing for covered auto repair. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repair. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-898-6155. Yes. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-898-6155. That's 800-898-6155. What do you have to lose? Call 800-898-6155. Again, 800-898-6155. Liberal elite crazy with a dose of common sense. Please. Show. It is the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one, Mark Levin today. It's on assignment, and it's a big one. He will be back with you, and it's going to be huge. So make sure you stick around for that. I love when I get saved on assignment. You know it's going to be good when Mark's on assignment. I want to get back to what I was about to say about CNN a second ago, and this idea that like O.J. Simpson died. It's like, we all know it's a murder, but it was payback for Rodney King and reparations and slavery and other black men that have been locked up. So we let a killer walk among us to basically get revenge, and even for either directly Rodney King or indirectly for all the other injustices in America. This is being taught to American youth. You know what?
And his kingdom will have no end. I believe in the Holy Spirit, who sees from the Father and the Son. The Father and the Son, he is adored with glory. He is spoken through these prophets. I believe in one holy and apostolic church. I confess on baptism for forgiveness of sins. I believe to the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. Amen.
It's also just worth noting how much it was impacted by this trial, Jake. So many things happened. We saw policing changing here in the city. And it's also worth noting because of that unrest, that racial unrest in the 90s, that is why so many people who may not have been invested in O.J. Simpson were just happy to see that someone who was rich and famous and black could get away with it, but other people did, and the system was welfare.
Whoa, hold on there. All right, there's a big number in this plan about that, right? Right? Let me read you the transcript of that. She just said it, and then she's like, oh, wait, I'm not sure I put this out loud. Well, hold on. So many people were just happy to see that someone who is rich and famous and black could get away with or what other people did the system as well, too. She's saying it. There were people that were like, come on, we want a black man to be able to get away with murdering, who's rich and famous, and we're rooting for this, right? I guess that's what we're doing here. And we're all admitting it. So we're proud of the idea that back in the 90s, we got O.J. off.
That is why so many people who may not have been invested in O.J. Simpson were just happy to see that someone who was rich and famous and black could get away with it.
Could get away with it? Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying. If that's what they're saying out loud, imagine what they're teaching your kids right now and your grandkids in college and high school and junior high about right and wrong. There's no right and wrong in America anymore, folks. It's all the what you call your kids, and we'll tell you what you can get away with. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one. Be right.
Trump's campaign is picking up steam, and unsurprisingly, the Democrat Party media are ramping up efforts to influence and undermine the 2024 election. Many Americans have had enough. They're starting to see through all this, and the polls are reflecting it. No matter how this media spin, we understand that inflation is not transitory, the border is not secure, and the virus came from Alaska. One key reason for this awakening is your support for alternative media, independent media like Levin TV on the Blaze TV network. We're committed to factual reporting, offering insights the Democrat Party media avoids, which is more crucial news than ever before. If you haven't joined us yet, now is the perfect time. Please Stick with us. Visit LevinTV.com. Use promo code Levin, L-E-V-I-N, get $20 off a yearly subscription. You'll gain full access to our shows, exclusive features, and direct contact with our hosts. This offer is more than just savings. It's an investment in the truth. That's LevinTV.com, promo code Levin. We'll take a look at KSFO traffic. Back to San Francisco in our crash, westbound 80 on the connector ramp to southbound 101. The left lane blocked by a wreck, and you are backed up all the way through the tunnel on the Bay Bridge, westbound Bay Bridge. No estimated time of opening, emergency crews busy on scene. A crash at Palo Alto, south 101 before San Antonio.
Done with one.
This traffic sponsored by Zero Res. Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, take 35% off your carpet and air duct cleaning. 35% off. Wow. Visit ZeroResBayArea.com and book your appointment today.
Hey guys, at Prime Mail Medical, their mission is to provide you with the medical care you need to improve your ED, low T, and incontinence. With years dedicated to improving the lifestyle of their patients in the Bay Area, Prime Mail Medical strives to improve your love life and overall health. Listen to Dr. Robert Browley.
We have virtually every medication known to man to help men. We specialize in acoustic wave therapy, sublingual lozenges, which bypass the digestive system, making them work faster and more effectively. Injectable medication and testosterone treatment for those patients who need it. Impotence problems can be treated in just one visit.
Why wait? Don't leave both. Call now. Get a PSA test and doctoral test. Call for ultrasound and a full year